You see, this very simple story tells us about the chatter, the noise that we have in our mind. There's a beautiful Sanskrit verse that tells us, Nayanam maduram hasitam maduram vadanam maduram. It tells us that as a child, in a state of childlikeness, a child is born into this world in innocence, in purity. So much so that his smile, hasitam maduram, the smile is beautiful. The body is beautiful. Everything, every aspect of that child is beautiful. But as we grow up and we grow old and we educate ourselves and we become what is known as civilized, that process of growing up and growing old and educating ourselves and being analytical and intellectual, we create so much chatter in our internal world that we lose, we dissipate that sweetness that we came into this world with. And this is this example of the student. When the student was able to clear away all the thoughts, the intellectual aspects of how do I achieve Zen, when he cleared the thoughts of within his mind, he was able to hear the stream. And we see that when he started thinking, I wonder if I didn't hear, when he started analyzing and creating more clouded thoughts in his mind, he did not experience that same joy again. You see, you and I, we have the ability, or we should have the ability, to access something that will cause us to create whatever we want in this world based on accessing the power of thought and silence. We know that the typical human being has how many thoughts per day on average? I've said this before. Has on average 60,000 thoughts a day. Can you imagine that? Bhayaji, 60,000 thoughts we all entertain in our minds every day. And you know what is the most detrimental or the worst part of it? It is that it is the same 60,000 thoughts every day. The same 60,000 thoughts we enter every day. Today, this morning, friends, I would like to remind you that the power to create whatever it is we want, whether it's the silver Hilux Baran, whether it's the car that we want, whether it's the house that we want, whether it's the husband or the wife or the boyfriend or the girlfriend or the grades that we want, whatever it is that we want, the power to create whatever we want in this world comes out of silence. In Christianity, there's a saying that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and that Word was Om. And Om came out of silence. Om came out of silence. The Sanatana Dharma is referred to as Mahapralay, the seed state. It is silence in which everything else comes. Recently, I was walking by my managing director's office, and every day his secretary puts up a nice quotation. And the quotation for that day that remained with me even now was, if you're going to speak, remember you should add value to silence. If you're going to speak, remember to add value to silence. You see, silence is the seed that causes us to create anything and everything that we want. It is the space in music. If I were to say Sa-re-ga-ma-pa-da-sa, means nothing. But if Romelia would play Sa-ni-re-sa, Pa-ni-re-sa, it is the space between the notes that creates music. It is the space, it is not the notes, it is the space between the notes that create the sweet sound of music. It is the space between our thoughts that has the power to create. And by telling you that we all have 60,000 thoughts every day on average, we have to learn how to do two things. One, to get into the space between the thoughts. How do you get into the space between your thoughts? What is Pandit talking about this morning? How do you get in between the space between the thoughts? Let me show you a typical example of how our thoughts work. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, wow, it was nice listening to Billy talk about work this week. And my mind, what I'm talking is exactly my thoughts aloud. Yes, I understand what Billy is thinking, man. I really had a hard week at work too. Plants are really shutting down. You know, markets are down and out. But you know, this financial situation, wow, we hear about all this global recession. But what about Prime Minister talking about we don't have recession, we don't have a problem? You know, I wonder how families will make out when they don't have employment. You know, crime is on the uprise. I wonder if my children are safe when they go to school. I wonder if my family, by extension, when they go out, when my mom goes to pick up the children, I wonder if she knows how to. And like this, you see, I started with Billy's week, and I ended up with my mother going to pick up the children. There are no spaces between my thoughts. And the trick in getting into the ability to create what you want, it is to find a space between those thoughts. And the secret of getting what you want is to know how to create and be the observer of the space between those thoughts. And there are many ways. There are meditation techniques. There are so many ways that teaches us how to find the space between the thoughts. And today, I would like to remind you, it is not how much space we find between the thoughts, because even those who sit in meditation for years, if they find 3 to 5 seconds of space between their thoughts, they have achieved a whole lot. But for beginners like you and me, it is not how much space we can create between every thought, but it is how many times we can create a space between thoughts. I want you to think of this. How many times we can create a space between our thoughts, that if we can master that art, we would have the ability to create whatever we want. Listen to the sound. Om Jai 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 Mahadev. Pause. The space between the notes that creates the music. Om Jai 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 Mahadev. It is the space between the thoughts that is the room to create infinite possibilities. Today I would like to share with you one technique. It is not about meditation, it is not about yoga, it is not about mantra, jap, tap. It is none of these. Today I would like to give you a simple technique. It is powerful, it is progressive, and here's the catch, it is free. This technique will help you to get into the space between your thoughts, to calm and quieten the clutter of thoughts that parade uninterrupted through our minds. The technique is one conscious breath. I would like for you to repeat those 3 words. One conscious breath. Not 1,000, one. And you'll say, that sounds very simple and stupid. No, it isn't. One, it means focus. Conscious, pay attention. Conscious, that's what it means, pay attention. Can you tell me in the last 5 minutes, Baleoji, how many times did you breathe in and breathe out? How many times? Don't know. You see, breathing was unconscious. One conscious breath, meaning pay attention to your breath. Breath. What is breath? Breath in Sanatana Dharma is referred to as Pran, or the energy force that gives life to this body. In German language, the word for breathing, it is Atmen. A-T-N-E-N. Atmen means breathing. And in Sanskrit, that same word Atman or Atman means the indwelling spirit or the indwelling God or the God within. Atman, breathing, it is the same concept, because that which we are searching for, do you agree with me when I say God has the ability to create anything He wants or she wants? Do you agree with that? God can create anything he or she wants. But how does God create? Is it by the Murti saying there, you pray to Lakshmi Ma here, take a $10? No. Where is God when God is creating affluence or wealth in our life? Where is God when we are creating an injury-free environment? Where is God in touching our lives when we pray for strength and courage to deal with difficult situations in our life? Where is God?